Hello guys, welcome back to another WWE review. We're going to be reviewing WrestleMania Night 2 and finally, that sound like The Rock, finally, we get a good peely, a good show. Good God, after last night, night 1 I crucified. Night 2 it felt like a different company. It was so much better, man. Absolutely destroyed night 1 in every way, shape or form. And I'm very happy to report that. I don't want to come on here and criticize or bitch about the product at the end of the day, but you have to give an honest review. And night 2, genuinely, I think every match bar one was better than anything on night 1. Is that fair to say? No, actually, I mean, with Seth Rollins and Gunther night 1, Drew Jacob wasn't too bad. But still, if you put them match for match, my God, man, it was just chalk and cheese. Night 2, traditionally, in these 2-night PLEs, is the better night. It kind of makes sense. It's a blow off one. It's one they focus more attention on. But 7-match card, night 1, to 6-match card, night 2. 7-match card got absolutely shit on. And if anything, it felt like it got impeded by the fact it was a 7-match card. Maybe they should have done 6 and 6, after all, and just binned one of the matches. I mean, I'd still rather they cut the ads and stuff, which is mainly the focus point of my rant last night. Um, and I'm not going to go on about too much tonight. It wasn't as bad. We had more matches. I think there was one match under 10 minutes, which is a shame because it was Sammy Trick, which I thought could have been great. In the end, it was fine. But all around, I feel like the matches were given more time. They were actually allowed to tell a story. 2 matches went less than 10 minutes, but the very first one, it made sense because of who was in there. Big night, big news. Obafemi dethrones Brock Lesnar. The ruler has taken his place on the throne. He is now the next big thing. They've started calling him that, and I'm wondering whether they're going to keep that, where Brock's kind of given his blessing to do that, because it looks like Lesnar is gone. Has he retired? Maybe. I mean, it looks likely. He took off his gloves, he took off his boots, he was crying in the ring at the end. So we'll talk about that. Big news. And, if that is the last we see of Lesnar, man, like, I know there's controversy about him with the lawsuits and Vince McMahon stuff, various other things he may have done in the past. We're not going to touch upon that. I don't know if he's innocent. I don't know if he's guilty. Innocent until proven guilty, I guess. In terms of his pure wrestling contribution to the business and his understanding of it, his brain for the business, it's extremely underrated. I'm old enough to have seen Brock Lesnar's whole career. I remember his first debut run. I remember the night he won his first championship against The Rock. Man, that first 2-year run he had was so good, especially the first one. No one has ever had a better rookie year than that. Obafemi could do that, to be fair. He's capable. Kurt Angle was up there as far as an amazing rookie year. I guess Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie Vaquer now in terms of their accolades. But if you look at the actual body of work, Brock Lesnar was right up there. We'll talk more about that when we get to it, I guess. Elsewhere, Penta defended the Intercontinental Championship. He retained it in a banger, absolute banger of a 6-pack ladder match. I knew that match would be good. It was even better than I knew it would be. Loved all the guys in there. They're all great wrestlers. So, yeah, it was hard to fuck that one up, but they still have to go and deliver. And they sure did. Elsewhere, the Trick Williams, as I said, he became the US champion. Won the US title off Sami Zayn. His first title on the main roster for Trick Willie. And I'm very, very happy for this. It felt like it was more like the turn just kind of happened organically. Sammy was behaving more like a heel in this match. Really interesting. As I said, though, I feel like they could have been given more time. Little shame they were. But really good match for the short time that it wasn't really a good match. It was a good result, though. I liked it. It was a nice feud. I'll tell you what was a match that I did not expect to be as good. Put it this way. If you'd said to me 2 days ago, Rhea Ripley vs Jade Cargill is going to be the best women's match of the weekend. I would have fucking laughed in your face. But here we are. Fair play. That was a decent match. They were given a little longer than I thought as well. They were the women's match given the longest. It was about 10 minutes or so. And for all, however shit the build up has been, trust me, I'm going to crucify that when we get to the review. We've got to give credit where it's due. They actually worked well together in the ring. I mean, Rhea's one of the best. When you put her in the ring, it's magic happens. But still, we've seen Jade Cargill go in with greats before and not do anything. She had a bad match with Io. She had a bad match with Asuka. Maybe she just doesn't like Joshi's. Fuck no. But I thought this was a decent match. And credit to Jade as well. She had a lot of criticism. I've been right there amongst them. I don't really rate her still massively. But she acquitted herself in a better fashion than I thought she was capable of tonight. So maybe there is something there still. The Demon Finn Balor returned. He defeated Dominic Mysterio. Right result again. I mean, so many of these were the right result, in my opinion. And then we had a very good main event. Absolutely shit on last night's main event. Roman Reigns, the OTC, has become the new World Heavyweight Champion. He did dethrone CM Punk, as I predicted. No interference or anything like that. It was clean. I thought there might be some fuckery going on, some shenanigans, especially with the Usos. Or maybe, alternatively, you'd have The Rock cost Roman Reigns. But a long get conditioned to not even expect The Rock, because then you just fall for disappointment. But it didn't need it. The more I was watching this, the more I was thinking, oh, I hope this is end up clean, because it was a really good match. Great job by both men. So yeah, really, really good stuff, man. That was the best show they've put on since Evolution. It was the first good PLE. Well, great PLE since Crown Jewel and Perth. In fact, I mean, both those shows are great, but I wouldn't even say any show has been good since then. There's been shit after shit. I guess the Cena retirement Saturday main event wasn't too bad. The LA November Saturday main event was notable because it saw two new world champions, both of whom were dethroned today. CM Punk and Jade Cargill. The reigns were perfectly mirrored. But that show was dog shit. Survivor Series was dog shit. Royal Rumble was dog shit. Chamber was dog shit. WrestleMania Night 1 was dog shit. This was more like it. This was back to business. So let's get into it. I still feel like a lot of the matches could have gone longer, but the show didn't have as much dead time as Night 1. I don't know what the fuck happened there, man. 7-match card? You'd feel like... I mean, it was 7-match card, yes, but it went for about another 40 minutes. Half an hour, 40 minutes to what tonight did. It felt like. Really, really weird. Anyway, let's get into it. We began with Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi, which has had, bar none, best build going into Mania. This was the one match I was truly excited for going into this weekend. The only one. I mean, no other matches like the IC ladder match, like I said, I knew it was going to be a banger, but there was no real build there. This was the one I was like, yeah, I would pay money. Well, not pay what the fuck they charge. They charge ridiculous amounts to go. But I would pay money to buy this on a PLE, maybe, to see this match. It was always going to be a case of, will they pass on the torch? Will they do it here now? And that may ring true even more emphatically than I think anyone realised. Oba came off first. His entrance, badass. It's made for Mania. I was really excited for it. Just, oh man, like, this he's just a star. He is the guy. Been saying it for a long time. When I was watching NXT last year, you know, people talk about, and I'm not dissing the other guys, they're all great as well. But people talk about Bron Breakker, people talk about Dom Mysterio, people talk about Carmelo or Triple Williams. You know, who's going to be the next big thing of all the 20-year-olds in the company? Who's going to be the next breakout star, the next face of the company? Because so many of the big guys right now, they are 40 plus. Cody, Roman, Punk, Rollins, Randy, Drew. You know, all these guys, they only have 5 years left, max. You have to say maybe Drew has a little more. Maybe Cody as well, to be fair, but we have to start signifying change. WWE has this big problem. No world championship still on any guy born 1990 onwards. It's just fucking insane. We're in 2026. Obafemi is that guy. I think a year from now, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. A year from now, Obafemi is crowned. I think he'll win the Royal Rumble. I think they'll give him a long run of. I mean, the only flip side is if they put the IC Championship on it. Or, I mean, he could end up back on SmackDown. I doubt it. I'm sure he'll stay on Raw. Maybe they would give him a mid-card belt for a while. I didn't see them doing that SmackDown, I guess, because you got Trick Williams there. Would they want to dethrone Penta? The thing is, if he wins a mid-card title, he probably has to hold that for like a whole year. I could see him holding that up until Mania, defending it, and then relinquishing it or losing it, and then moving on to the world title scene. Oba is the guy. He comes out, he gets big, massive ovation. It's just aura. You sense it when he's coming in. Like, this guy belongs here. He belongs on the big stage. And, the next best spot besides main event is opening the show, especially on the ESPN 3 hour they have. I think it was really smart first two matches, the placement from WWE. Opa comes out, does his dance, gets to the ring. Then Lesnar follows with Paul Heyman. Once again, during the Alicia Taylor's her introduction, she is hijacked. Last night it was Pat McAfee to introduce Randy Orton. Tonight it was Paul Heyman to introduce Brock Lesnar. I can't even do it. He kind of rolls the R's. Brock. But I mean, it's extra emotional now, I guess, if you look at it. That may well be the last time Heyman does ever introduce Lesnar. The match was short. It was 4.5 minutes, I think. Let's have a look at this. I want to point out as well, actually, I was when I was doing a review last night, I was looking at some of the oh, my laptop's like super fucking slow. The second I click any button sometimes. I feel like it's the longer the laptop stays on, the longer it's running, the more sluggish it is to like do anything. So bear with me. I was running through the match lengths of the Wikipedia entries last night and kind of crucifying the fuck out of them by, how the fuck have they given these competitors X amount of time? It said on the Wikipedia that Liv and Stephanie was given 9 minutes. And I thought that's a bit much. The initial report was 7 minutes. Or 6:50, I think. Well, now that's been amended again to 6:51. So yeah, 6 minutes, 51 seconds they gave Liv Morgan and Stephanie Bouquet. It's fucking disgraceful. So the new kind of corrected and fact-checked, I'm sure, timestamps from night one are here. 7 minutes, 8 seconds for the Usos and Knight versus Vision and Speed. 14 minutes, 9 seconds, Fatu versus McIntyre. 8:33 for the women's side. 8:15, Becky AJ. 17:52. That one's bumped up. Gunther and Rollins. Originally it said it was 50 minutes. 6:51, as I said, Liv Steph, and 22:44 for Cody Randy. Because there's a lot of fuckery that went on before the bell even happened. And after. The times are up for this show. It's saying 4:45 over Brock. I feel like it was a little longer than that, but I can't believe it. It began with a test of strength. Not really holding the hand one, but they kind of locked up and a bit of a push and shove match. I was consistently getting the better of this. Lesnar then, and I've not taken notes at any of these matches, by the way, at all. I just wanted to watch the show and enjoy it. I mean, to be honest, I was kind of fucking not expecting much after last night. That's normally when WWE do best, to be fair, when the backs are against the wall. I think last night crushed any fucking optimism out of me. So I didn't take notes. They lock up, bit of back and forth. One takes a step back, the other gets a step on the other, and then eventually Hoover pushes Brock to the floor. Brock got up, drove a couple of shoulders into Ober's midriff in the corner. Ober then pushes him, gets him on his ass again. And just like happened with most of the build up, Lesnar's kind of like looking a bit stalled. He goes to try and clothesline Ober. Once Ober stands up, just looking at him like, fuck, tensing, looking badass. Brock hits the ropes this time, get more leverage on it. Goes for it. Ober again, no sells it. I mean, he recoils a little, but he stands his ground. Then he sends Lesnar over the rope, just like he did in the second week of the build. And again, Lesnar's really selling this well. He's looking at him like, the fuck? What? Who is this guy? Like, what have we got to do to get him off his feet? Well, I had a bit of an open. Ober's kind of leering at him, talking his shit, a bit like, oh, come on. Lesnar grabbed, there was some distraction with Heyman, I think. And Lesnar grabbed bottom of Ober's heels, sweeps his feet, just like Nikki Bella did to Charlotte Flair last night. And dragged him out of the ring, threw him into the ring post, froze him into the side barrier a couple of times. Back in the ring, Lesnar, Oberfemi gets back on top. He sends Lesnar into the corner, starts doing those. I love how he does it. He runs from turnbuckle to turnbuckle, hits the shoulder into Lesnar. Bro, when this man hits the fucking turnbuckle, the noise, the feel, it feels like the ring, fucking whole ring reverberates. Over is that huge. And the commentators sell as well, the noise. I'm sure maybe they add something to it, but good God. I remember him doing it on SmackDown when he was against it was Kit Wilson or Gargano. And I think Wade Barrett was like, I feel like the ring is moving a couple of inches each time. He fucking. It feels like that every time Ober does that move. Look great. Gets a couple of shoulders on Lesnar. Lesnar goes to his knees. Ober goes up as if to grab him. Lesnar turns the tables, gets Ober in position for the F5. Delivers an F5. Brock kind of turns around. He's pumped now. He's all he feel like all he had to do to show this more. There was real vibes of fucking like Batista. He's kind of like at the ropes. He's expecting him to grab onto the rope, do the fucking Batista pop. But now he's kind of looking at the crowd. So yeah, he's getting fired up. No, who the fuck's this guy? F5. No, does he know, bro? Ober Femi is, I wouldn't say no sold it, but he's recovered it very quickly. He's kind of gotten to his knees. He's ready to stand up. Brock stands up, turns round, bam, right into Ober's chokeslam. Brock stands back up, staggers a little, turns into pop-up fall from grace, which was the very first thing that put him down in the feud. This was not as long as I thought it would be, actually. I thought maybe there would be both men would take multiple finishes from nowhere and kick out. This was the first pin attempt, I think, that went down. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to complain about this, man, because it was exactly what you wanted. It felt big. The build-up was massive. Lesnar did everything to help put over. I mean, Ober's already a star, but he really did help put him over. And 4 minutes, I mean, it's still only about 3 minutes less than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be kind of like straight to finishes, basically, and the big signature moves. There was a bit of the back and forth with the strength war and stuff. I love that. It's just little things, man. Brock's selling with his facial expressions, not even just like taking the moves, getting knocked on his ass. They made Oberfemi look like the big deal that he is. He stands tall over Lesnar at the end of it. Heyman's looking shocked. Ober leaves the ring. And then, before you know it, Brock Lesnar is taking his gloves off. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck? Takes his boots off. Took a while. There's got a lot of laces there. He's picking at them. And then I saw him. I'm focusing on his boots, actually, at this point, when he's taking on his gloves, when he's taking them off. And then I saw him kind of shaking a bit. And I thought, is he laughing? And I look at his face, and he's crying. Red in the face. And, man, like, I didn't get emotional or anything like that, but I did take a moment to be like, well, this is one of those guys that I remember from what I would still call my era. There are there aren't many left now, man. I think the OVW4 scene is gone now. Uh, Batista's gone. They're both long in Hollywood, effectively, you know. Lesnar's gone now. Only Randy left. I guess Shelton Benjamin's still there. He was always like the OVW5, basically. He was the honourable member. But, yeah, end of an era. He takes off his gear, leaves it in the ring. All the fans are starting to, I wouldn't say it was an overwhelming ovation, but a lot, there was a lot of noise. They're saying, no, no, no. They're also saying, thank you, Brock. You know, they've realised straight away, this is like Wrestling 101 now. I feel like it's the most played out thing, but it is always a poignant moment, and it is always a perfect way of signifying retirement that we see it a lot. First one I remember was Undertaker. He left his coat and his hat and his gloves in the ring, and then we've seen it with uh, John Cena, and then we've seen it with AJ Styles. Man, they're dropping like flies. Fucking hell. I'm glad I did get back into watching it when I did, because I've at least seen the last run of a lot of legends of the sport, of the business. God, that is fucking insane to think about it. December Cena, January Styles, April Lesnar. Possibly. He goes back up the aisleway. Heyman looked like he was crying legit as well. You know, you think of the history they've had together, 20 plus years. Heyman's always been in his corner. He was SmackDown GM when Brock debuted. He was the one who gave him the big push and helped him along his path. Credit, of course, as well to the OVW guys. People like Cornette, Danny Davis, who got Lesnar there. But Heyman is the man. You know, if you think of anyone who, like, let's say, for example, Brock Lesnar, he will eventually go into Hall of Fame. Unless something else comes out, that's the legal case, he will end up in the Hall of Fame. Who will abduct? Good luck abducting Brock Lesnar. Fucking hell. Who will induct him? It's going to be him, obviously. That's how significant and synonymous his career has been with Paul Heyman. So yeah, really emotional moment, I guess. See Heyman crying, walking up the ramp, Brock's turning around, he's saying thank you, and people are cheering and stuff. Is that it? I mean, you would think so. I'm not going to hold my breath on that not being it, but there is a glimmer of maybe it's not, because I could see a well where everyone's initial expectation for, oh, Lesnar might retire this year, it's going to be at SummerSlam. SummerSlam is in Minnesota. Brock Lesnar is from there. How close Brock Lesnar feels to Minnesota nowadays, I don't know. He lives in Saskatchewan. He has done for many years. He's there with Sable, with Rena, and his children. Doesn't he live in the USA? But still, you know, if you're ever gonna have a if you have a big PLE, and Brock Lesnar is Mr. SummerSlam as well. He is probably the one wrestler I think of first when I think SummerSlam, because of all the big moments he's had there. That felt like the perfect stage for him to go. So a lot of people were theorizing that the reason Gunther took out and stepped up to Seth Rollins, basically defended Paul Heyman, was afterwards he came up to Paul Heyman on Raw and said, you know, this is a favour I expect to turn. Everyone thought it was 2 plus 2 equals 4 then. Oh, well, he's going to ask for Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. He wants to retire Lesnar. You know, what a notch on his belt. What a fucking a coup that would be. A bit of bragging rights that would be for him. He's, of course, got the career killer gimmick. It makes sense. They might still do that. Because I was thinking, I was like, well, why would they do this tonight? When you have Gunther, the career killer, does Brock not want to go get Gunther over? I don't think so. Brock's always been about business. Brock Gunther's never happened. That's a great match potential. Maybe they have this, so you know he retires. Inverted commas. And they're doing this to ensure that Lesnar's babyface when I could put it this way: if I were WWE, maybe they've already agreed this, and maybe I'm sure they wouldn't have run it if they hadn't already run this by Lesnar. It's a way to get him off TV until SummerSlam, at least. You can basically guarantee he comes back to a babyface reaction there. I would have Gunther about a month before SummerSlam, after the PLE, just before SummerSlam, whatever that's going to end up being. I would have Gunther approach Heyman and call in that favour. And then they disappear behind the room, so you don't know what's said. Week after, Gunther's irate. We don't know what he's asked. He's irate. He's saying, you know what I want, Heyman? I believe you're the only man that can do it. Make it happen. They go back and forth throughout a couple of shows, whatever the fuck. And then eventually Gunther, after being repeatedly said, no, the answer's no. Heyman's saying, I'm just passing on the message. The answer's no. Gunther assaults Heyman, sleeps him, and says, Brock Lesnar, I want Brock Lesnar in SummerSlam. I don't want him to just walk off to the sunset. I want to be the man who retires him for good. Come back and put your career on the line. And he basically gets to Heyman to try and enrage Brock to come out of retirement. I could see them doing that. I'm not going to predict that they do, because I don't know. Is Lesnar the kind who would do the show of this tonight and it not be the final thing in his career? I don't know. But also Lesnar, he's always been smart about money. They've never run Brock and Gunther, and that is a fucking money match, especially at SummerSlam, especially in Minneapolis, especially if his career's on the line. That is the kind of match that could open night 2 there. Or maybe they even have it main event. Honestly, it's main event where I could see it main event night 1. So we'll see. But if that is it, like I said, credit to Lesnar. Or credit to Obafemi as well. We look great out there. He didn't get overawed with the occasion or something. It would have been easy to be overawed. He acquitted himself really well throughout this whole feud. Got a good promo Monday. He's just a star, man. He is the guy. And I'm really interested to see what they do with him from now. But this, of all the WrestleMania things, a lot of the others, you could say, oh, this was a good match, but there wasn't much build. The likes of Gunther and Seth. But that, the lack of build there wasn't WWE's fault necessarily. It was just injuries. The IC ladder match, exact same. Great match, not the best build. I thought the Trick Sammy feud was really good. I hate the fact that Mello got thrown under the bus. Even Ilya got thrown under the bus for the sake of it, just to put the championship there. But the match underwhelmed though, because they just weren't given enough time. The only thing in the whole Mania season that both the build and the match, or the result, just everything was executed to perfection. I couldn't have booked it better in my dreams. That was this. Over as far. Really, really good. So already I was like, oh, this already clears the whole of night 1. And then we had a fucking banger. Absolute banger. Intercontinental Championship. 6-pack ladder match. Penta defending his title against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. Bro. This was one of those matches where it kind of would have been difficult because it's always a bit chaotic. That was my thought process. But then when it starts, I actually don't usually like the formula of this. I still consider Money in the Bank to be one of the most overrated matches, one of the most overrated PLEs of all. A lot of people, I disappeared for quite a while from the product, or, just observed from afar. Come back. A lot of people in recent years are starting to talk about, oh, it's one of the big 5 PLEs. Fuck that, man. I'm an OG. It's still big 4. It's getting close to big 3 now, because Survivor Series just... I never did like War Games. Even in WCW's prime, I was never massive on it. But anyway, Money in the Bank, I don't like the match. The stipulation's cool as fuck. Everyone loves to see who's going to win the briefcase. I don't like the match stipulation. When they have a six-pack ladder match, I can understand why they do it, but all it basically is kind of a lumberjack situation, almost like a gauntlet, a casino gauntlet, where it's almost like they're tagging it out. They have two men in at a time, going back and forth. One will take one out, go to climb, and then another one comes in. And then he'll knock that one down, they'll back and forth, they'll do some mad shit, knock that one down, and then another one comes in. And then another one, rinse, repeat. It has that formula. I can understand why, because with ladders involved as well, with six guys, it's going to be hard to really like choreograph a lot of things. Anything can go wrong and break the rhythm and break the spots up. It's where you look at the likes of the TLC and WrestleMania 17, how fucking genius the three teams were there, where not everyone's like that. So they've gone for this more formulaic protocol. And I think in general, it makes me dislike these style of matches. There are exceptions though. Some of them are still, there's so much cool shit going on. And it is so well done that it overrides everything. And that was this match. Same with the SummerSlam TLC as well, to be fair. Oh, this was really good. The main crazy spots, good God. We knew there was going to be some. Rey Mysterio, who looked great, man. This guy's in his 50s. Like, what a fucking legend. What an absolute beast. He went after Penta, who lifts him up, kind of like dive bombing down in like a power bomb position, seat position, and he catches Rusev on a ladder that was set up. They always got to set up a ladder between like the commentary tables and the ring. They love that shit. It always happens, but it always looks fucking cool. Someone goes through that. They both went through it. That was crazy. There's a one where Rusev picked up Javon, just dropped him on a ladder. Looked pretty rough landing. Javon did a OG cutter from the turnbuckle. Caught this. Everyone knew it was going to happen. From the turnbuckle onto Rusev, who stood on the ladder as if going up for the title. Rusev kind of fell off into it a little. And I saw some people criticising that, even criticising Javon. It's like, oh, he didn't get over there. Well, the fucking ladder was like nowhere near the centre of the ring, man. It was like metal. They give Javon some slack. I just don't think the ladder was in the right position. I don't care. Like, if it looked great. JD McDonough, fucking hell. So about another guy who's like so underrated, man. He did a Spanish fly first off to Dragon Lee off a ladder. It's looked great. They did show multiple replays of this, and for good reason. This was a thing of beauty, man. Both men, but especially McDonough. When you see like how he's protecting Lee's neck, they're both perfectly synchronized. Both land perfectly flat. Just fantastic. Chef's kiss. The craziest one. Good God, bro! I thought he was dead for a split second. I was like, oh my God, please don't be dead. Penta and JD going up the ladder, either side, after the title. You know, they're slugging at each other and all this shit. JD grabs Penta as if he's going to suplex him. Penta's just sitting down. He's putting all his weight down. He's forcing it down, not going. And then I'm thinking, oh, well, he's probably going to do a sunset flip powerbomb. Because the ladder that JD stood on is also, it's got a ladder through a rung of that over towards the turnbuckle. I've seen this before. I think the women's chamber match, Money in the Bank match last year, there was a double sunset flip powerbomb. Alexa onto Naomi and um, Roxanne onto, was it Vaquer? I think it was Stephanie Vaquer. They've always, that's a trusted and tried setup as well. I remember Vaquer doing a devil's kiss onto Rhea as well. You know, you've got to have a ladder set up and then another ladder kind of going through it, and some shit happens on it. But I'm just thinking, yeah, it's going to be another sunset flip powerbomb, whatever. Like, it'll look cool, but like, bro, he gets up. Penta, this is crazy bastard. He sat on the top of the ladder, and it was until a few seconds before I realised what was about to happen. I was like, oh my God. He hits JD, puts his head in position between his legs. Is this motherfucker about to do a fucking Mexican destroyer onto the ladder? Well, he did. My God. I mean, it looked picture perfect, got clean, but yeah, just the way McDonough sold it. His entire body went limp. I was like, oh, he's fucking paralyzed. He's fucking paralyzed. Michael Cole helped selling that on commentary as well. I think he said the same. He was like, oh my God, he's dead. It wasn't quite Mick Foley going off the cell, but good God, it was one of those moments where it was like, holy shit, that was badass. Just a great match, man. All the guys involved in there were fantastic. They're the major spots I remember. There may have been more. The end result was Penta winning, defending the championship. I think that was the right call. He's only just won it. No, I know he's had a couple of defenses, but still, I would like him to have more. Considering how long it took him to win it, he was going after it for basically like a full year straight. Um, Penta really, really deserves this, and I'm happy to see him have a run until like the summer. Even you look at the guys in there. I was thinking we're coming out of this match, man, the Raw mid card belt scene really is strong. You have Javon, you have Dragon Lee, you have McDonough, you have Rusev, you have Ray. You also have Finn Balor now, who I think could be the one who dethrones Penta. You also have Dominic. I don't think they're ready to put Dominic in the main event scene yet. It will happen eventually because he has every attribute needed. But there's just so much talent there. They could even move Ray Phoenix over. Just still wish they'd have done, to be honest. But I guess Penta isn't really missing much. Poor Ray Phoenix, man. Very, very good match. Like I said, I thought the choice of these two matches for the first hour of ESPN was a really wise one from WWE. You need a match that's kind of gonna get eyeballs on it, and over vs Brock, such a spectacle that does that. And then Lesnar possibly retiring is a huge moment. And then you need a match to tear the house down. It's exactly what happened there. Next up, we have Trick Williams with Lil Yachty. Still don't know who this guy is. I think he's Raw. Against Sami Zayn. Sami was champ. Recently deposed. I'm still furious about this. Recently deposed Carmelo Hayes as US champion. Melo had a great run. Bro. I'm happy Trick won the championship. But you've got to say, if this was the plan, well, why not just do Trick versus Melo? Were they that locked into the Open Challenge? Sammy's great. Sammy's been one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting characters in the entire company lately. How he's gone from being the plucky underdog who went after the other title opportunity at the Royal Rumble, he couldn't quite get it, and then a lot of people, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, a lot of winners are getting in his head. Aleister Black's talking his shit. He's kind of like getting his head as well. There's just a lot of moving parts there. His kind of natural, I wouldn't even call it a double turn. I mean, the fans just organically made Sammy the heel in this program because they love Trick so much as well. The way Sammy was acting on Hinge backstage, etc. It's made for interesting TV, so I can't shit on this at all in that respect. I think the feud has been okay. I've enjoyed it. I still feel bad for Melon. And I think, if Sammy defended the championship tonight and it was Trick wins it down the line, this is part of a wider story of Sammy. He's still kind of being deluded into thinking, yeah, I'm a great guy, but he's doing heelish things, which he did again tonight. If that was the case, I could see why they took it off Mello. But Trick's winning it. Could you not have done Sami Zayn in a program with like an Aleister Black? And that's how Sammy kind of devolves into a heel. And just have Trick versus Mello. They had a past. They had a match at Standard Level a couple of years ago. Trick was aligned with Carmelo. in their NXT days. Never, I wouldn't say a long, rich history, but they have a history together. It just felt weird. Felt weird to me. Tommy comes out. He's got this his Palestinian gear because he loves it. Bro, Trick Williams is fucking coat. It's made me laugh. Lil Yachty come out first to introduce old Tricky Two Time. Trick music goes on. Everyone loves this theme. Everyone's singing along. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. He has this entrance now where he rises out from underneath the stage, and he's on this like revolving circle. It's a revolving platform, bro. I didn't realize it until he started walking down to the ring. He's walked about 30 meters, and then the camera showed his fucking coat still trailing along, like where he started. How long this fucking thing was, I don't know. God, it must have weighed a fuckload. But like Piccolo and his weighted cape. So the fuck is that was so dumb. But it was very true. You know, he has his white all white gears kind of became his thing now. His look on the main roster. It wasn't quite the same in NXT, but he had moments where he was kind of like white gear dominant. But they've really kind of lent into this main roster now. The match, like I said, I just don't think they were given enough time. Sammy, especially, is a great wrestler, and he can put on bangers. For whatever reason, I think Sami Zayn's match catalogue and PLEs in the last 6, 7 months has not been it. I really don't. This was my least favourite match on the card of all of them. I mean, it was the shortest one, so you can't blame that much, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just a bit meh. The result is the only thing I'm really happy about for this. I'm never ever going to watch this back. Sammy had pretty much dominated the match, honestly. Trick had a moment, but Sammy ends up whooping that Trick to the extent that he's kind of lying on the bottom rope. His neck's on his head. He's fucking looking dazed. Lubiati's on the outside, kind of trying to talk to him, gee him up. The crowd are just firmly booing Sammy, cheering Trick. Role reversal here, Trick, if you're unaware, is the heel going into this match. Sammy is the face. The fans have made their mind up weeks ago. And the only question I was thinking is, are they going to do like a full-fledged double turn? They're going to like confirm it? Kind of. Sammy had heel moments. He comes along, he assaults Lil Yachty, who didn't really do anything wrong to Sammy. In this match, at least. He's been calling him Gingerbread Man, of course, on SmackDown. He didn't really do anything wrong to him tonight. So I guess that's kind of heelish. He got booed for that. He attacks him. He throws him into the barricade. He continues to assault Trick on the outside. Sammy's rolling back in. Trick struggled to beat a 10 count at one point. He got in on 9. And there was a moment or two where Trick is kind of dazed in the corner, and Sammy is the ref's kind of trying to check on Trick. Trick's really selling here that he's been beat up. And Sammy wasn't having it. And I love this story arc that you've done with Sammy. It's really interesting, man. You know, if you make him a heel, could this be the thing that maybe pushes him to world champion level finally? As the years go by, I'm beginning to lose hope that he ever will get there, but his whole arc in the past was, yeah, he's a plucky underdog, but he's always been afraid to take advantage, to capitalize. You know, he always wants to win fair, and he misses out because of that. So he ends up looking like the dumb babyface. Wrestling 101. Babyfaces are dumb. Everyone knows. But this happens so often that, you know, he needed an extra edge. And this is what these people have been getting on him for. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Aleister Black, all getting in his head. You know, you need to be a killer to win the big belt. You don't have the drive. You don't have the ruthlessness to see the opportunity, but seize it. You've got to seize it. Carpe diem. He's starting to do that now. there's moments where they're telling that in story. It's how he beat Carmelo. Carmelo got an unfortunate turn of events when Trick Willie, who was trying to go for Sammy, accidentally struck Carmelo, and this time Sammy didn't hesitate, which was the overarching story from how he didn't win this qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. Even though Drew McIntyre basically fucking laid it on a plate for him, here's the Cody's right there, beat him. So I love the whole story they've been telling with Sammy. Really interested to see where he goes here. Tonight, though, although he had these moments, in the end, he did not prevail. It was Lil Yachty got up during a second attempt at a haluva kick with Tricks in the corner. Lil Yachty got up and Sammy attacked him. So to be fair, Lil Yachty did do something to him, but Sammy had already assaulted him. He did do something to him tonight. Sammy attacked him. That was all it took. Turned around into a spinning heel kick from Trick. And it was a 1-2-3. We have a new US champion. So yeah, I mean, good and bad. It really is. Like, I still feel so bad for Carmelo. But I'm happy Trick's US champ. Did I expect it to happen this soon? I would have said yes if Sammy hadn't have just won the US Championship. I'm surprised he won it, and then like 2 weeks later he loses it. Where does Sammy go from there? We'll see. Trick, Carmelo, I'm sure is going to be next up. But you think of some of the matches, the people, the guys he could work with, could be really interesting. Tamatonga, Ilya, Solo, I'm sure, probably want to go for the belt. Maybe even someone from Wyatt 6 will want to go for the belt. Hopefully that feud's fucking done now. Good goal. Aleister Black will be a good opponent for Trick. It was the right move, I think, in terms of long term. This guy's come on in January in the space of 3 months. He feels like the most over guy in SmackDown. Honestly, he's the most genuinely over one there. I just wish to bring him more time, man. But there wasn't much of a story to tell, so they had to kind of get to it quickly. But Trick looked a little weak. The story they were trying to tell is, Trick's just kind of getting beaten by Sammy, who is a bit more ruthless, who is a bit more unforgiving, and I'm going to jump right on you and stay on you. So to do that, to give the time to sell it and tell the story, Trick had to kind of like look beaten up very early on from very little. I don't like that aspect of it, and that was purely because of time restraints. You compare it to the main event with 25 minutes in, Roman and Punk are looking days, looking really beat up, but it makes sense because they've been beating the shit out of each other for 25 minutes. It's what it is. One match had to go short of the last 5, I guess. Next up, according to this, 12 minutes 58. The Demon Finn Balor returned. Got his first win in 7 years, because he'd lost twice in a row. He beat Dom by pinfall. Again, the right result. I think everyone expected this. This was the most surefire result in the fucking card. Very cool entrance from the Demon. It always is. But especially this one. It might be my favourite Demon entrance, honestly. At least since NXT. This is really cool. Comes out, it's got this red and black streamers. His paint look tonight, I think, was one of the coolest ones as well. He picked up the staff looking thing with the skull, sets that down. Dominic's selling it really well. He came out with a bunch of fucking luchadors in masks. There was about fucking 25 of them or something. I guess that is his gimmick. He's the king of the luchadores. Yeah, Dom was crouched down next to the commentary desk. Cole and Wade, kind of like just looking fearful. It took him a while to get in the ring. Finn's just sat there, he's crouching at this point, kind of staring him down. This was a decent match. Dom had a lot more offense than I thought, and the Demons sold a little more than I thought. When eventually they get to blows, The demon's kind of jumping all over him at first. But the more expected thing, the demon's selling attacks well. I thought there'd be a case, especially at the start, where Dom's kind of like chopping him or something, and the demon's just staring back at him like, no, I don't feel that shit. Didn't really do that. He was kind of like back and forth relatively early after the demon had a fast start. But what they did do is have him kick out of a lot of shit. Dom hit 619 through a fucking chair at one point. He kicks out. Dom hits another 619 later on, and then a frog splash. He kicks out. Both moments where I was like, oh god, are they really about to have the demon lose again? For a third time in a row, bro. He needs to just fucking retire the gimmick at that point. That's good. So having him kick out of both Rey Mysterio and Eddie's finishes back to back is more like the demon, more like what I expected here. Like I said, I didn't take notes. I'm not going to run through too much of it. I thought the in-ring psychology was pretty good. The way Finn acted the only thing with the demon is his moveset's never really been much different to Finn Balor. But just his mannerisms around the ring go. I like that. He gets in the character, he plays it differently. He's kind of stalking him, the way he's acting. The best people to play kind of supernatural or evil, demonic gimmicks tend to do that. It's kind of the in-ring psychology, the way you can separate it. You look at Undertaker, you look at Bray Wyatt, Alexa when they were there. You look at Kane, look at Demon. They all act differently in the ring. They all incorporate different things. And just when he's crouching down like he's a fucking cat, stuff like that. It goes a long way, man. I missed it. I missed seeing Demon Finn Balor. It was good. Good run. They brought out a Slim Jim table. I can't even remember who went through the first table. I think it was Balor. The second table. Eventually, Dom finds his way on. Finn had attacked him, put him on there, does the coup de grace through the table, pins him 1, 2, 3. No interference from, I guess JD McDonough was basically fucking paralyzed earlier on. So it makes sense. But I was thinking maybe the Judgment Day are going to try some fuckery. Roxanne turns up, or Raquel, or even Liv. No interference. I like that. I feel like there's too much interference these days. We saw it in. God, let me look through this shit. What interference did we see last night? Or, fuckery. To be fair, it wasn't too bad. We saw Braun Breaker. Oh, actually, no. The last 3 matches all had it. Yeah. Braun Breaker helped Gunther beat Seth. Roxanne and Raquel helped Liv beat Steph. And then Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll debacle that was the main event. So, you've gotta be careful with how much you do of this. I think it made more sense for the story for Finn to go in there and beat clean. Fight result. Both guys look good. Both good wrestlers. Now what is the question? Are they done with each other? I don't really see why there'd be a reason for this to carry on. Finn, you'd expect maybe to just go on a singles run in the mid card to take out some guys, and then maybe we'll go on to see him take on Penta one of these days. I could see that being like a SummerSlam match or something. Money in the Bank's after SummerSlam match. I kind of wish it was in June, July again, because I was like, could we see Demon in, Finn Balor in a Money in the Bank match? That would be pretty sick. It's kind of match that's made for him. Oh, 1 second, guys. Oh, man. My leg is fucking killing me. Kind of like sat on it. Just going to go grab my cup of tea, which I made, but I've put it like out of reach. Fifth match of night was the one, honestly, above all others this weekend I was not looking forward to. Well, not the one I was not looking forward to. It was the one I was looking forward to the least, I should say. Oh, God. The build up for this match is just atrocious. But when it actually came down to it, like I said, I think this was the best women's match of the weekend. Just crazy, but here we are, somehow. It was the longest one. But according to this, anyway, it was given 10 minutes, 9 seconds. Rhea versus Jade. Rhea Ripley, the whole build up, I've just been thinking, like, I don't see Netflix letting her go. I don't see Raw being able to afford letting her go. I mean, I guess there are a lot of good baby faces on Raw still. You have your EO, you have your AJ, your Beck, you have Bailey and Lyra, you have uh, Vaquero chasing the championship. But still, I just always have my head. Well, SmackDown has Bianca still to come back. Like I said last night, once Bianca's came out and announced their pregnancy that was announced, I just suddenly like thought, "Whoa, Rhea Ripley win odds have just shot through the roof." I predicted Jade Cargill would win this match on Thursday when I did my prediction video. I thought the fact they gave her the stable to work with, a new one. They even with EO helping Rhea, they still outnumber them 3-1. They've kind of committed to this Jade as champion story, even though it's pretty much the entire reign's been dog shit up until this point. I thought they'd just kind of double down on it, stick on it. There are still other faces in SmackDown. There's Charlotte Flair, there's Alexa Bliss, there's Tiffany Stratton. Excuse me, there's Tiffany Stratton. You could promote someone else. There's Jordan Grace is there as well. You could promote someone from NXT, a Sol Ruka. I don't expect you to go straight into World Championship challenging, scene, but you never know. She's definitely capable. So I was not really sold on Rhea winning the entire feud. But now it kind of does make sense. It was a chasm, really. There was a void waiting to be filled. At the end of the day, Shawn and Lex is still a tag team. Tiffany's reign just kind of peed out a little. WWE don't even rate her enough to put her on this card, which is crazy. I thought Tiff and Rhea worked really well together in the chamber. That's a match that could bang. That could maybe be a first defense. I'm sure Jade will have a rematch, backlash or whatever. But still, for the way WWE sees it nowadays, I still hate this because I still consider a lot of other women on this level of these four. But a lot of people talk about the four pillars, which is Liv, the four modern pillars of the current age. Liv, Bianca, Io, and Rhea. Well, Raw had three. SmackDown had one, but she's gone. So that's what they've done now. They've just moved Rhea over. So I guess, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Still kind of crazy, though. So the match itself, Jade comes out. Her entrance was not overly special compared to a normal SmackDown entrance. The Tron was kind of cool, but I still think the stage is fucking basic this shit. And I don't really think, I don't know, man. I actually felt as far as entrances go, they might do something more. It was just her walking down to the ring. They have Rhea come out wearing white gear. She's very unlike her. Normally she's in all black. She loves this shit. Whenever it's PLE time or something, she gets red on her face somehow. It's like her war paint. She goes half Zara. She'd look like a clown mask or calm face paint or something, wasn't it, in War Games? Then there was something else she did a while ago in a PLE where she kind of like dressed up and looking different. Maybe it was the War Games before, but she had the old fucking gas mask looking thing on in it. It's got like the long ass nose, protruding nose. She likes to embellish her look a little in these POEs. Whenever she does it, she normally wins. So I'm like, oh, is she doing this because she knows she's winning? It's a surefire way. I'm going to start looking out for that now. Yeah, I actually thought this was not a bad match. I mean, I expect good matches from Rhea. She's great. But Jade, less so. Of the weekend, where fucking hell, on Saturday, we had 4 matches go less than 10 minutes. Jade Cargill being one that went over 10 minutes is wild as well. She slammed Rhea early on. I honestly, I'm tired today, man. I'm struggling in this review because I'm struggling to even remember what. I feel like I took myself out last night just ranting about the shit program. I'm struggling to remember a lot of the spots now, but I did think it was good. She did a power slam. She did a really nice looking spine buster at one point to Rhea. I mean, Rhea has to get up for her, and she did that. That was the main thing I was looking for, really. You know, how are they going to gel together? They locked up immediately at the start, like Oba and Brock, and they're kind of tussling back and forth. One gets Rhea got Jake got Rhea close at the ropes. Rhea turns it round, Jay turns it round, etc. I was looking for, oh, were they going to like stiff each other? Are they going to be awkward? They're going to sandbag each other and not go up. There was no case of this. So, you know, credit to Jade as well here for once. She was tasked with dropping the belt to Rhea, who, by all accounts, we've been led to believe there is real, genuine beef between them backstage. But she was professional. She worked well with it. I don't remember the move sequences, honestly, right now. So I apologize for that. So we're just going to cut to the chase. Meechin appears ringside. I'm sure they wanted it. She appeared on the exact same spot and distracted the ref the exact same spot as Roxanne first did last night to Vaquer. And sure enough, Bifab appears right where Raquel appeared to distract Rhea. And you're thinking, oh, is it gonna what happened to Stephanie Vaquer going to happen to Rhea here? They got Jade loose, basically, whereas Rhea tried to like grab her in position for a riptide. No, she had her up for Razor's Edge, that was it. And good God. Thank God they didn't have her execute this, because one thing noticeable for Rhea like, recently, I don't want to go on harp on about this too much because apparently it's not beyond her control. She has noticeably lost a lot of weight, a lot of muscle density, just a lot of her size. She's still big. She's still bigger than most of the girls in the fucking company, but she's not as big as she once was. Man, she was built like a fucking linebacker. She's toned now. I wouldn't say she's muscular. So of late, she's been getting women up for the Razor's Edge, and she's looking like she's struggling to hold them up, and it's been dangerous. There's been a couple of fumbles or miscues where like it could have been worse. So that being said, I'm kind of glad that they didn't have her execute this move because God knows Jade might not even know how the fuck to land properly on it. While Meechin distracts the ref, BFAB gets Jade away from this. Rhea's kind of trying to clear out the two heels who are getting involved, and you're thinking, oh well, here Jade's going to take advantage. Io comes down to neutralize it. She does. Sometimes wonder when they have to do these run-ins, what possesses them to make the walkway so fucking large. It kind of looks goofy. It's fine with Braun Breaker. Guy's so fast, he just fucking zoomed down. Oh god. He zoomed down there like Usain Bolt. He didn't give a shit. He was there in seconds. He had to even slow down and adjust. Because he would have fucking decimated Seth Rollins. But Io, bless her, little 5 foot tall Io, you could see her running for her life. It just took her ages to get. And she's lifting the top up as well. She had this like tube top on, and I think she felt it slipping, obviously. Thankfully it didn't. There was no wardrobe malfunction or anything. But she kept doing that. She kept pulling that up. So it kind of looked a little goofy. She comes out though. Io's fucking great. Everyone loves Io. The most likable baby face in the fucking company, perhaps. She just has that infectious smile and joy. She comes out, takes out Michin and B-Fab. She then hops up onto the ropes. Jade goes if to hit her, and just springboard moonsaults off, clears both of them out. And then the back and forth. Rhea went to go for a riptide, and Jade looked like she got out of it for a second, and then was going for Jaded. Just as Rhea goes up, though, she rolls underneath the legs, gets behind Jade, bam, riptide, 1, 2, 3. I should say as well, earlier on the match, Jade did something they called the Sandstorm. Where have I been? Am I that disinterested in Jade Cargill matches on average, though? Has she ever done that? Is that a new move? I was like, what the fuck was that? I don't know if I've ever seen her do it. I genuinely don't know. Let me know in a comment. Is this a past move of Jade Cargill? I'm not typically big on Jade, well, no. So maybe I've just missed it. Yeah, I will give her the flowers tonight. I don't think this match was great by any means, but it was good. It was better than expected. I would rate this like a solid B. Whereas all the other women's matches, fucking hell, I don't think any of them make a C. I think the women's tag was okay, but it just wasn't enough time for them individually to do much. They mainly just focused on Charlotte and Paige. And the two singles matches last night were just fucking awful, to be honest. They were really mid. This was more like it. Rhea being champ? Yeah, I don't know. I'm still a little mixed feeling on it. What does Io do now? I always felt like they were better being on the same show. Could Io come to SmackDown? That might be a bit much, to be fair. And I don't know how they'd work that. She just keeps turning up. She misses Rhea. No, she's got a story to finish with Asuka anyway, I guess. But are they still gonna like run down and save each other on the shows, or are they just gonna kind of part ways as friends? Are they gonna just drop that angle now? I guess we'll see. Time will tell. It's probably gonna be a long reign for Rhea. Main event. CM Punk defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. I think one of the entrances of the weekend is Roman Reigns. I think he owns this. Because I really liked they had this classical singer, opera looking singer woman on. It was okay. She kind of got overpowered by the music after the opening salvo she did. They had a pianist, but the drummer in this Roman big long winded intro they did. Because they loved the aura of He was great, and I think he really added to it. Roman then comes out. He looks part. He looks fantastic. Excuse me. Oh god. I need to wrap up soon. I'm really tired, bro. Really fucking tired. I'd love to talk about this night more enthusiasm as I did last night, but I feel like I'm worn up, even though this is the better show. But yeah, Roman took us a long ass time getting there. Then it cut to CM Punk. There was a different theme playing. I guess it was like is one of his original themes or something, and it's showing this like collage of his career. Uh, God, you'd have thought Punk was fucking retiring tonight. The way he went on. Then it cuts to him walking out onto the stage, the front of the Tron. Nothing there, just all black. Walks up, does his clobbering time. Then Living Colour plays. As he walks to the ring, he's wearing some jacket that had a series of names on it. There was one there, three there, and he had a big crown on his back. Michael Cole starts explaining what these are all references to. Apparently, the four names on his shirt were all people who'd either been influential in Punk's career or just WWE stagehands, basically. Just paying respect to them. You know, one of them had died on the 1st of April, I think Michael Cole said, unfortunately. So, rest in peace there. And Punk just made a nice tribute to those who he'd lost, who couldn't be there tonight. The crown on the back was a reference and a tribute to Harley Race, the great Harley Race, who played an important role in Punk's career. I think it's that. Whether that be as an inspiration or giving advice or whatever. Harley Race was great. Like I said, I expected this match to, if anything, be the one most likely to have interference. We did not see the Usos. It was straight up Roman vs Punk. This was a great match. This was really, really good. Oh, both men looked fantastic. Punk looked, I mean, he looks exhausted after like 5, 10 minutes at the best of times these days. But he gets his second wind, and it didn't look too knackered until like the very end. He went toe to toe with Punk. The opening psychology of it, I feel like, was mainly Punk was getting under Roman's skin. He was kind of outsmarting him a little. He was tying him up in headlocks and then behind, and he's kind of laughing at him. He's got this confidence. He's been like this throughout the build a lot. He's kind of laughing in Roman's face, like, "Oh, you're nothing to me. I'm smarter than you. I'm more wily than you." I think wily's the best word here. He's trying to use his experience because he still sees him as this kid that he brought through as part of the Shield. The Shield was his creation almost, and they're kind of fighting up on that. Whereas it's more like Roman's physicality and relative youth versus Punk's experience, veteran nature, who will win out. It was a real snobber knocker, man. They fought on the outside. They went over to the well, kind of threatened to go out in the crowd. At one point, Roman hits Punk over the barrier, and then he stands on a table. He goes back in, he breaks the count. The referee's doing. He stands on the table, looks at Punk, and everyone's like thinking he's about to die. And you could see the commentators kind of like, "Where's Punk? Oh, he's sat in a chair. He just sat in a fan's chair." Fucking told him it was moved. Be an empty one. Oh god. Do I have to talk about the John Cena segment? I forgot about that with Danhausen. I won't talk about that. I was sports entertained, but it was cringe at the same time. 1 minute I was enjoying it, the next I was like, oh good god. I should put it that way. I was sports entertained. The reason I bring it up is John Cena announced the attendance was 55,000 tonight. It was 51,000 last night, apparently. So there were clearly still some empty seats. Punk sits himself in one. Roman comes over, continues to assault him. They went back and forth a lot. Ultimately, one of the pivotal moments I feel like was Punk got Roman on one of the tables, and he took so long to do this that I was thinking like this is kind of dumb if he goes through the table now. Like, Roman's just out. Roman hadn't been assaulted that bad to lie there for about a fucking minute. But literally, Punk, he's back in the ring. He's looking about 30 seconds. Ref's counting Roman. You can see Punk trying to make his mind like, oh, should I? Should I jump off and jump through the table here? Yeah, it's a bit of a risk. He might get counted out, but I could take advantage of his prone state here and inflict further damage. And he stiffs side in about 20 seconds. Eventually, he starts to climb up. Well, too late. The camera had completely cut away, and as soon as he started climbing up, bam, Roman just fucking appears. Rose from the dead like a fucking Undertaker. Assaults Punk, and Punk effectively ends up held up in a tree of woe on the other side, facing towards the commentary desk on the far corner where the metal steps are. Wow, that's where Roman took advantage. Back to back Superman punches. He also grabbed, Punk started bleeding from the mouth at this point. He's also grabbed the metal steps, whacked him in the head. Now Punk's bleeding in the forehead. So at that point, Punk looked on the ropes a bit. He's come down from the tree of woe, speaking of ropes. Roman's put him back in the ring. He's lining up a spear, runs across. All of a sudden, Punk just fucking appears. He just miraculously gets up, gets Roman into the GTS. Bam, 1, 2, near fall. Almost done. There were a couple. I don't remember the exact order. I just fucking watched it like everyone else. I really should have made notes of this, but there were. I think after that, Roman gets up and spears Punk, and couldn't capitalize. Yeah, I guess we'll fast forward to the end. There was a time where Roman Punk got him back on the table. Oh, also Roman Reigns put Punk through the Spanish announce table because of course that has to take some punishment. Later on in the match, Punk got Roman on the table. This time he did go off the turnbuckle, put him through it. Elbow drop into the table. It broke. The ref goes over, checks on both of them. They're both looking really fucking beat up at this point. Roman's not bleeding or anything like that, but he is looking a bit exhausted. Not surprising after his fucking efforts. Punk gets him back in the ring. He went for a GTS, got one. Roman staggers back. This is a spot they do too much with Punk, but I like how it was different this time. Roman stagger back. Boom. Landed on Punk's, hits the ropes, lands on Punk's shoulders again. Punk's kind of like on his knees. We've seen him do this a lot. It happened against McIntyre, it happened against Rollins, it happened against Gunther at SummerSlam. I think it happened. Did he do it against Jey Uso? Maybe to win the championship in the first place. I think it happened against Breaker. How best to show the Warrior? How best to wrap up a Warriors fight and do back-to-back GTS? I'm thinking, oh, is this going to happen again? Just as I'm thinking, oh, I feel like if they do this way of finishing matches too often, does it take two GTS to take this fucker out? Punk's getting up for the second one, collapses just out of sheer exhaustion. Couldn't quite get Roman up for the second one. Roman kind of breaks free. They both stagger to the feet. The selling was brilliant. The psychology, the pacing of everything they did tonight. There's two masters of work, man. They really are. This was fantastic. The crowd as well, all night, was so much better than the night one. But especially for this match, I feel like they were constantly up. There were times where there were lulls in activity and noise, but towards this end salvo, it was great. They're both staggering to the feet. It's kind of like, oh, who's going to blink first? Roman spears Punk down. They had a big back and forth with submission holds. Punk got Roman in a Anaconda Vice. Roman twice got Punk in a guillotine choke. First time Punk, see him trying to get out. He almost did a handstand, then just pushed himself off, and then tried to go for a sharpshooter. Gets down, and Roman grabs him, gets him in the guillotine again. I was thinking, is it going to be a submission ending? There have been too many of those in Mania history. Usually, whenever they have been, they've been fucking badass moments and matches that it would be befitting of this. But they're really going to end it like that? They didn't. No. Eventually, it was just who lasted. It was a test of endurance. It felt like there was a blink moment. Rowan eventually, I think Punk went for a Superman punch or something. Rowan gets the spear. 1, 2, 3. I probably did a really poor job of recapping there. Not making notes in a match is fine. I got conditioned. I started doing it yesterday, but I got conditioned to, oh, well, we're going to have 7, 8 minutes matches each night. I probably don't need to do it. But then we had a 33-minute match here, apparently. So apologies if I fucked the order up or whatever. I probably did. I was just talking about the better spots and what I thought was good and what I didn't think was good. There's nothing I didn't think was good here, honestly. I thought both men looked fantastic. Really do. They had chemistry in the ring. They sold for each other well. And I did love the overarching story of, one of the parts of this build was Roman was saying to Punk, you're old. You're too old. And that was kind of the difference tonight. Punk just gave way. His legs gave out just a fraction before Roman's did. And he blinked first. And that was it. Commentators kind of sold us on that as well, yeah. They were like, oh, Punk collapsed and Roman just, he capitalized. Punk just succumbed to exhaustion. I predicted this would happen in terms of the result. Now, please, for love of God, WWE. He's obviously going to be there tomorrow because Raw is in Vegas again. Please do not have him as a part-time champion. We need the champion there every fucking week. At least, I would say, 3 weeks out of 4. 3 shows out of 4 per month. You at least need him there. You can even include a PLE amongst that. But he needs to be there regularly, man. We do not want to see this motherfucker disappearing for a month, for 5 weeks, for 6 weeks at a time. And then he just turns up PLEs. Oh, yeah, we've had 0 bills for this spells. Let's go see Punk. Roman defend it. So that was where Punk was great. He was appearing every week. Punk's reign, I do want to pay tribute to it here. It wasn't one of the greatest reigns of all time, but it was decent, man. It was good. I enjoyed it. He said he was going to be a fighting champion. He tried to be, he defended it against Braun Breaker. He defended it twice against Finn Balor. Couldn't really do any more defenses between them because it was such a long build up from Rumble up to Mania. 3 weeks into April for Mania. Rumble was in January. So people may look at it like, oh, you only have 3 title defenses in X amount. How can you say it's a good reign? Fuck off. It was a good reign. He tried to put over different people. He helped Finn Balor in his storyline of turning face, splitting the Judgment Day up, or splitting from the Judgment Day. He came out and delivered some fucking great promos, and then we'd cut one on Braun Breaker at the start of the year. He did that pipe bomb the other week. The night after the Rumble promo with Roman Reigns was great. Punk did really good work with the title. Will he hold it again at some point? Wouldn't surprise me if he does, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't, to be honest. Man is 48, I think. And Obafemi may be waiting in the wings in the not too distant future for Roman Reigns. What heels does Reigns have to work with? We could see Reigns Breaker. Is Roman a heel? Is he a face? I feel like we don't even really know. I thought maybe tonight we might have the Usos play a part. And the Bloodline's kind of officially back. I thought that would end up being the closing shot if Roman did win the championship, which he did. The Bloodline reunited. No, excluding Solo Sikoa. I guess we'll get more answers tomorrow on Raw. It's a short review. Apologies, my voice is fucked. I'm tired. Yesterday took a lot out of me. I just came on here and ranted for 2 hours, basically. Saturday, it was so good. Sunday was so much better. It was a nice day all around. The full beat Everton last minute, loved. Arsenal continues to bottle it, which is just peak comedy. And then night 2 of Mania, I thought was. Can I say it saved the show? I don't know. I mean, it shows the sum of all parts. And at the end of the day, if half your show is dog shit, 7 of the 13 matches actually is technically over half, then overall it's a bad Mania. But listen, I think it was better than last year's Mania. Overall, our night 2 is solid. Our night 2 should be remembered, and this is more the model of what they should do. There's still work to be done. There's still a lot of ads. They still only had 1 vignette promo package show for all these fucking matches. That was before the main event. It was the exact same last night. They only had 1 for Cody and Randy. Which ended up being such a disappointing main event and feud. Completely fucking destroyed by Roman Punk. Still can't believe it. But yeah, we'll stay positive, man. Hopefully they keep this momentum going into Raw tomorrow. I don't think the Raw after Mania is quite what it used to be in terms of the excitement that used to be there. Like who's going to get called up from NXT, etc. But still, there is some excitement there. What changes are there going to be? This is around release season from WWE, and where they will promote people up, or they might sign people here or there. They're looking to sign people. So there could be a lot of comings and goings soon. How is that going to change the landscape? Landscape's already shifted pretty dramatically now. We have a new heavyweight champion who is normally a part-timer, Obafemi is through his first big assignment. Where does he go now? Rhea Ripley's moved to SmackDown. SmackDown's new top dog in the women's division. How is that going to change things up? Is Alexa going to turn heel? She kind of looked like black and white. She looked so different in presentation the other day. Does that signify she's going to have a new heel character? Does Drew McIntyre, how long's Drew McIntyre gone for? He's off to film Highlander, apparently. Cody Rhodes, I'm talking about SmackDown now, of course. Friday night, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton look like they've unfinished business. Will Pat McAfee keep his word, or will he return? The landscape has shifted a lot. I feel like, they weren't. Yes, some of them are kind of predictable in terms of the results this weekend, but I am interested to see where they go now. They have maintained interest, especially with a lot of the storylines and narratives coming out of this weekend. And Tampa, 3 weeks' time, is Backlash. So there's not much resting on the laurels here. We may even get the first match for Backlash announced tomorrow, or, at the least on SmackDown on Friday night. So excited to see what happens. I don't know whether I don't even know when the next review will be, man. Typically, I was so disillusioned with the Mania bill, which was just utter dirt, that I didn't even do a fucking review of the last 2 weeks. I did a prediction and preview video for Mania. I've reviewed both nights now. Will I come back for Raw tomorrow? Maybe. If there is enough notable happenings, and there could be with them, the Raw after Mania, we'll see. I'm thinking from NXT, if anyone's going to be called up, maybe we have Ethan Page. I think they'll keep Ricky down there and Joe Hendry down there because Tony D needs people to work with. I guess there's Keanu and Dion and stuff coming up, but he still needs guys there who are kind of ready now. So I'll say Ethan Page. I'm thinking might show up tomorrow or SmackDown. But Joe needs him more. I think he'd be a better addition on Raw. Ethan. I think it suits him better. JC Jane and maybe all of Fatal Influence. Will Fallon and Laney join? Or I could see if JC does get called up, Fallon just taking over Fatal Influence, becoming a new leader, and then adding someone else to it. I don't know. Someone from Evolve or turn someone heel like Carmen or something. I could see all of them getting called up. If that is the case, I think the better on Raw because SmackDown has way too many heels still. Sol Ruka, if she gets called up, I think that will be for SmackDown. Then who else is there? Titan and Mola are champs. They're not going to get called up. Blake's not going to get called up. They've just paired her up with Vanity Project. Kalani, Jada, I don't think so. I think it's still too soon for them. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm interested to see the Mania fallout. I'm sure they'll mainly focus on what matches are going to be in the rematch picture for Backlash. I'm sure there will be at least one or two fresh matches. But I think there'll be at least a couple Mania run backs. Cody Randy looks like it's one. It's going to be set up. We'll see what else there is. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Let me know what you thought. This was a decent show. Last night I gave night one a 5 out of 10, which I do still think was generous of me. Tonight I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. That was a good show. Let me know what you thought.